Hello. Welcome to tonight's bedtime story by Lucid Tales. I hope your day has been bright and full of joy, but whether it has been soft sand between your toes or the wind whipping it into your eyes today, it's time to relax now. Find somewhere comfortable, maybe your bed or a favourite armchair, and make sure you're ready for sleep. Don't forget to brush your teeth. Take your shoes off if you can, and feel the freedom in your toes, the little loosening that means it's time for bed. Tonight's story is the tale of the Cerne Abbas giant from deepest, darkest Dorset. You might not know this, but many hundreds of years ago, Dorset was full of giants. They roamed the hills, their long legs covering ground like they were flying, if not for the great heavy footsteps of those enormous feet that shook the earth with every step. Many of the giants in Dorset were friendly, or at least lived in harmony with their human companions, but this story is about a foul giant, a greedy giant who rampaged through the hills of the Cerne Valley, stealing sheep, eating cows, even devouring families of isolated farmers along with their livestock. No one outside the village slept peacefully in their beds, knowing that this monstrous creature could descend at any moment, his great club in hand, and pluck them into the air to swallow whole. One summer, the giant's hunger reached fever pitch, and there was not a family in the valley or the villages who had not lost something or someone to his ravening. The people of the Cerne Valley at last had had enough, and entreated a wizard to come to them and aid them in their plight. The mighty wizard came to them, her purple cloak sweeping behind her like a king's, but patched with many silvery moons and stars and strange alchemical symbols. She taught the villagers and the farmers and the shepherds the means by which the great giant could be caught, and helped them to craft bindings of strong magic, rooted deep in the earth and stone of the hills, the very earth and stone of which their bones were made. Nearing the end of summer, and fearing to wait any longer should the giant decide to fatten himself further for the start of winter, the people of the Cerne Valley gathered their flocks and herds, and each selected 2 animals from their livestock to form a great mass of sheep and cattle that were led to the face of Trendle Hill and corralled there. The people hid in the trees and long grass and awaited the giant's thundering footsteps with bated breath and shaking hands. In time, the earth did indeed tremble and shake as the giant, seeing the great herd of beasts on the hill, came to devour them. The foul stench of his carrion breath wafted across the hillside as he came closer, and the villagers closed their eyes and prayed as his great hands came down and grasped a cow in one and a sheep in the other. But though they kept their eyes tight shut, they could not help but hear the horrible grunting and grinding of his teeth as he ate his grisly meal. At last all fell silent as the giant licked his fingers clean. Then there came a mighty thud that shook the leaves from the trees as the giant laid himself down upon the hillside with his club and started to snore, overcome with weariness after his great feast. Then the folk of the valley pounced. They ran on silent feet, surrounding the giant, and with the great magic bindings they had made with the wizard out of the very earth and stone of the hills, they bound the great giant's bones into the hill, for they too were made of that same earth and stone. And though the giant awoke and fought mightily to get free, he could not escape his fate. He was dragged down deep under the hill and bound there in that earth and stone for all of time. And there he still lies, harmless now, merely an image, a relic of the time when giants roamed the land in these parts. None did after that, for even the friendly giants, when they heard of the fate of the Cerne Abbas giant, left that land forever, and ventured to where the giants went when they disappeared, a place no man has seen or found. Perhaps they too are out there still, living a world apart, somewhere where they can stretch their arms without bumping into the sky. Perhaps. And that, of course, concludes the tale of the Cerne Abbas giant. If you have a mind to, you may go and see him yourself. It is said that these days he blesses the Cerne Valley and the surrounding Dorset Downs with great fertility, perhaps in penance for his ravening. You'll never know unless you go to find out for yourself. Now, good night, sleep well, and I will see you tomorrow for another bedtime story.